members to join. I think we are good for now. So everyone, can you please just unmute? Tell me the project status and mute. Calling everyone one by one. Ajay.
Hello.
Speak a bit louder, Ajay.
So, am I audible now?
Yeah, tell me.
I have not started with the project. Was busy in office.
Not able to hear you properly. Anil Verma.
Yeah, hi, Vajram.
Yep, hi.
So, to start, Vajram.
Just what?
So, just I want to start this thing.
Okay, you want to start, but I have given this project last, I think it's been 2 days. So what are you doing?
So, actually, last week, scenarios have kept on that.
We need to complete projects, Anil. You cannot do this. Start. Bhargav Kumar. Okay. See, if you're not talking, I'm just removing you from the meeting. Just join back.
Vajrang, I completed the task in the sequence manner, but I have some doubts also.
That's fine. We can make it. Bhargav, I'm removing you
Okay.
from the meeting. Please join with your audio. B. Vijay Kumar.
Yeah, Vajra, good morning.
Good morning. 10.
Yeah, almost completed. I have facing with read CSV file and write Excel.
So those are pending.
Yeah.
So what is the
Almost
project name?
completed.
What is the project name?
Supplier management.
Okay. Charan.
Hi Vajrang. So actually I have not yet started Vajrang.
Okay. Any specific reason?
So actually I have a lot of hectic work in my office. So that's the reason. I will try anyhow. I will try to start today.
Who is your partner? Make sure at least Sai starts with it. Okay. Dhanlakshmi.
Yeah.
Bajrang, I have not started the project because I'm not clear about basics.
That's fine,
That's why
Dana. I
I'm
think
prepared
you
for that.
have a partner, right? What happened with your partner?
He has not started yet.
See,
I texted him.
Okay, fine. Himaja. Thanks, Dana. Himaja. Not able to hear you, Himaja. Please connect back with your audio. Jaybal.
Hi Vajra. I structured on like date picker activities. I have done up to date picker, but when I select year, I'm facing issues. So I
Why are
structured
you
on there.
using date picker? Why can't you just type in the date in the field?
Yesterday night only I completed up to that, so I'll complete it today.
You can directly use type into and fill it.
Yeah, okay, Vajra. I'll complete today.
Thanks. Kaveri. Kaveri, please unmute.
Yes, Vajra.
Yes, status please.
Actually, not yet started process. So,
No documentation even not started.
no.
Completed start at least. Kaveri. Okay, Dinesh Kumar.
Yes. Yes.
Dinesh.
I haven't started Vajra.
Okay, Mahadevi. Thanks, Dinesh.
Yeah, Vajrang, I have to start today. I was that PDD
I gave you
task
one day
capture.
break because I thought you would be saying the same answer yesterday. So just start with the program, project and all. Okay, Mahesh.
Vajrang not started.
Thanks, Mahesh. Mary Kirti.
I haven't started Vajra.
Mohammed Zaman.
Okay.
Mohammed Zaman. Join in with your audio, please. Snehalata.
Sorry, Vajrang, not yet started.
Okay,
I was a little busy these 2 days.
start Sneha. Don't
Yeah, sure,
don't
sure.
wait. Okay, Murali.
Mm.
Murali left. Punam.
Yeah, I have completed half project, sir.
Okay. Ram.
Not started with busy with the migration and my present project.
Okay, Ravi.
Vajrang, I've done up until the sending an email to Outlook.com. I just need to do a few more steps.
We need to check that, Ravi. Okay, thank you so much for the progress. Okay, Zaman, Mohammed Zaman. Are you back?
Hi, Vaidran.
Yep, tell me.
Yeah.
What is the status of
Am
the
I audible?
project?
Yeah, me and Mahadevi actually we are working on it. Actually.
Okay, what's the status?
We started the code actually.
What about the documents?
PDD I have done some from myself. PDD.
Okay.
SSD I'm working on it, and after that I have to start the code.
Okay, Sandhya. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Vajrang.
Hi.
Yeah, completed up to screenshot.
Screenshot.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Srinip.
Vajrang, working on some basics.
Okay, start with the project. While working with the project, you will learn the basics on yourself.
Yeah, okay, sure.
If you sit on completing the basics for the next 5 days, then project will not be completed.
Yeah, sure. I will complete it.
Thank you. Singampalli.
Yeah, Vajrang, morning. I haven't started. I will start today and complete it.
Okay, thanks. Sudhanshu.
Hello, sir.
Yep, hi.
I'm still doing the basics, sir.
Okay. See, guys, people who are learning basics, learn basics by starting with a project. Don't sit and learn basics and wait or waste valuable time. Vinod
Okay.
Singh.
Vajrang, I'll be starting it today.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Lalita.
I have to start here. I did not yet start yet. I'll do it.
Okay. Now just try to complete. Don't miss out any sessions or don't delay with working with the projects.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So just a small announcement, maybe too early, but just want to give it out. We have Madhavi Lata, right? Madhavi Lata got placed in one of the organization. Just don't want to reveal the name till the offer got confirmed and till she got placed, till she gets the confirmation of the letter. But congratulations, Mahadevi or Madhavi? Madhavi Lata. Just a second.
Snehalata.
Snehalata, sorry. Snehalata. Thank you so much, Snehalata, for correcting me. Okay, congratulations, Sneha. And just give out your interview experience and what questions you were asked in the interview. Can you give that? Just take 2 to 3 minutes, not more than that.
You want me to tell them now?
Yeah, I think that should be fine.
Yeah.
Just 1 or 2
So
minutes.
the basic questions were based on ReFramework. They asked me to explain ReFramework, and they asked me if I will be working on Excels rather than Q, then what are the changes which I should be expecting, and what will be the types of the items like transaction item, what will be the type of transaction item and all. And after that, they asked me about orchestrator, like how I'll be using assets and all those questions they have asked, status of the queue and all. Then they went on email automation and they asked me how to, they gave me one scenario and asked me like whether I can apply filter. So these were the questions based on ReFramework and all. And apart from this, some were common questions like if you have Excel, if you don't have Excel, then how you will handle? If your web page is not loading immediately, how you will handle? And I remember this was the first question we discussed on the first day of our class.
Yeah.
If web page is dynamic, how to handle that? So these were the questions in general.
Okay. So is the way how you answered changed from the previous interviews?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
The answers have lot changed because while answering with respect to ReFramework and orchestrator, I used to get scared before. Now I'm confident enough. Like I can say that yes, I have worked and yes, I have, because to be very honest, initially I used to just tell them that I have assisted. I haven't worked on it. Now I'm telling them that I have worked on it. I know it.
Okay.
Confidently.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sneha, for that. Anyway, congratulations. And as instructed, continue looking for more opportunities. Since though this is only 75% hike, you can grab around 100 to 200% hike. That's what my expectation for you is. Okay.
Yeah, Vajrang. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, let's start with ReFramework at least for today, and then we'll continue the project. See, project you need to start and you need to complete. That's no other option for any one of you. You asked for initiation till deployment. If you are not able to do it, we cannot continue further. So just continue or just proceed with the activity or project activity. Okay. Fine. Let's see about ReFramework. How many of you have watched the videos that I have shared at least? I've shared multiple videos on ReFramework. Okay. Okay, sure. Who else? Who else watched them? Kirti. Mahesh. Poonam. Okay. Ravi. Mohammed Zam. Okay, I'm starting a new project. So to start with ReFramework, again, click on ReFramework template over here. Here you will have the details. I'm just giving out the path where it should go. Was show in Explorer. So all my code and all my files will be in GitHub. So make sure you try to learn and understand GitHub as fast as you can. Okay, June 2022. So this is the folder and ReFramework training. Okay, so before going into ReFramework, let's start with a basic empty file. Add sequence, or at least add a flowchart. Everything would be fine. Add flowchart. So first let's create a flowchart, and then in that let's create an ReFramework. Okay. So I think it would be better if you can just communicate over with me. So can you please just talk over or just text me what are the requirements? Okay, my requirements are simple. Start annotations, add annotation. So here are my requirements. A read Excel file. Okay, so for each row, what you can do, show. So the Excel file contains only one column. Show a message. Okay, and while showing a message, after showing a message, close it and then go to the next item. Okay, so this is the requirement. As we progress further, we will add few more details. Okay, now, so what is the first step that we need to do, or what is the first activity that I need to place over here?
read Excel file, read range.
Read range.
Either if you are going to use the Excel scope, you can use the Excel scope application and read range.
Okay, I'll just use read range. Okay, I have data folder. In that data folder, I have input folder. In this input folder, I'll just add my file. Add. I'll just go to the project, data, input. Okay, new Excel workbook. Sample.xlsx. Okay. Now all I need is to open this sample.xlsx. Okay, so this is okay. I'm just adding a few details. So instead of showing a message, I'll just add file name here. So all I need is, instead of showing a message, I just need the file name. To be created, or the file name to be created in the output folder. So let's go back to UiPath and change the requirement. For each row, create a file in output folder. With current date and time as content, and cell value as sheet name, cell value as file name. Okay, so here in the cell values, I'll write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have, these are the items that we have. So I'm just saving it. So okay, so just tell me or give me the steps how I need to do. What are the steps that I need to take, proceed? I'm not using Excel
Yeah,
application
first,
scope. I will just type in, please. Type in our chat.
okay.
Workbook I'm using. Workbook read range I'm using. In this, what I need to give? Properties, sheet name, workbook path. Okay, I can just map it over here. Workbook path is this one. Input folder. Input folder, input, and then sample. Okay, sheet name, this is fine, and range is also fine. I'm just giving out this one as dt. Okay, so if we have read this item, then we need to give some value. Sheet name should be sheet 1. That's the sheet name, and the value or data table would be so variables. DT transaction data. Okay. So DT transaction data is my complete table over here. Now what should I do? For each in data table, okay. But in read range, okay, in this flowchart, I will not have for each. Then how can I do that? Instead of using a for each, how can I iterate through the values?
Even for each data table,
I should not use for each.
So using looping.
Yeah, looping like what?
Like use while or condition.
Sorry?
So we can use while activities or if condition.
No, that's what I'm telling, right? We should not use any looping activities over here. Without that, we should.
We can means
Okay, there is an option to create a variable. Okay, let's go ahead and create an ascent statement.
by using increment.
Yep, we'll do that. So what we'll do, we'll just add a counter. Okay, and this counter will be assigned to 0. Okay, so this variable increment counter is not a string, it's an integer. And let's try to send a log message, log activity, and we'll just see what is the output that we are getting over here. Properties. So if this is 0, then can we get the 0th row value from the table using int counter? Properties. See, observe carefully. Here we are using DT transaction data dot rows of 0 dot toString. Okay, let's have a breakpoint over here, and then let's debug.
It gives file name one by one, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So whatever data that we have in Excel, like will it give continuously everything? I don't think so. After first item, it should not give the next item. Step into.
Yes.
Because we are not looping in, right?
Yes, yes.
Here it is showing data row, message object data row, and nothing else. Why is it so? If it is only data row. Properties, transaction data, data row. Output. Let's start again, restart, and let's see. Output. So let's check and watch. Transaction data dot rows of 0. Let's see what's there in rows of 0. We have one object and the answer is 1. We should have this. Let's also see what's there in log message, and let's try to print it out. rows of 0. Okay, I just asked rows of 0 but not the value in it. So let's go ahead and give out file name. In this properties, instead of rows of 0, can we just give int counter over here? So if it is counter, then whatever the counter value is there, we'll have that row index. Okay, of 0. So this 0 will be for the column. Rows of 0, this is the counter, and this is the first index of the column. So let's run it again. Run file. Put. Okay, we have one. Now why are we not having other values?
Looping, it is not incremented. Means
So how can we
we haven't
increment?
used loop.
How can we increment?
Vajrang,
Can't
can
equal to
you
count
say
plus one.
In counter plus 1 equal to in counter.
Okay.
Vajrang, can you repeat the step once again? Like, what is the difference between that we have taken as a counter, right?
So what
Counter
exactly
and
counter will do is, instead of having a static row, if you are having rows of 0, it will always give the first row. Now if you
no,
have
initially we put like a row of bracket of 0 index number and dot to string. So what is the difference between the first step we have created and the next step? We have added that variable counter.
Yeah, properties. It's not about the counter, but earlier what I did was Control C. So this is what I have given first.
Yeah.
So what am I calling? I'm calling rows of 0, but not the value inside a row.
Okay.
If I don't give in counter and if I do give 0, now even now this is correct. Again, int counter is always 0. Now what exactly will happen? It will first take the rows. This is the 0th row, and in that row take the first column value. That is 1.
Okay, generally when we take activities like type into, so we will use to tend to type like a current row of index dot to string. So then it will loop through each values, no?
I think you are talking about modern activities, or you are talking about Studio X
Classic.
activities.
No, Studio only Studio Community Edition.
Yeah, if it is Studio, then you are talking about modern activities. That's what I'm telling.
Okay.
Okay. So don't see. I'm just reading the data. I'm not having that scope of Excel open. After reading the data, Excel application scope is closed now. I cannot have it open always. Okay. Now I have the data in my library, or I have the data in my memory. That is DT transaction data. Okay. Now in that DT transaction data, I'm taking rows. With these rows, I'm taking the first index. So do you know what why 0, not 1?
Yes, that's a column will start the index of the 0, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, columns
That is
and
the first
rows.
column. That we have.
Yeah, columns and rows will start with index 0. So here instead of 0, I'm just adding it as an increment counter. So if I just want to increment it, it will be like int counter plus 1. Now, can I just loop it back till this message?
Yes.
Okay. Auto arrange. Now what exactly will happen? Now it will first go to int counter. It will type in the message. It will integer. It will increment the counter, and it will print all the values. Now, what is the error with this particular item? What can be the error?
The incremental value to the column, not for the row, I think.
The increment is for row, not for column. See, column is always 0 because there is only one column and I am giving only column 0. Now in this, these are rows which should be incremented. The column is static. We have only one column, file name, or you can just give file name. But tell me one thing, why did it throw error after 9?
We haven't tell the bot
close
to
the
stop somewhere because it is reading all the data. We need to stop the bot. After reading the 10 rows or 11 rows, we can stop it.
So how can I get to know, without failing, how can I get to know that this is the place where I should stop?
Count data table dot count.
Data table count will not give me, but data table dot rows dot count will give me the answer. Okay, so can I just add activities? I'll just add a if condition. So in UiPath, there are two ifs conditions. This is normal representation of variable. There is also something called decision. So since we are using flows, let's go with flow decision. Okay. Now, after incrementing directly, without directly sending it, what I can do is I can just give it out to flow decision. Excuse me. Auto arrange. Now, what should I check over here?
count, if count.
Condition. What should I check?
Count, if count is more than 9, must.
So you cannot just give static value 9, right? It can be 20 or 100 as well. Then how can you validate it?
I mean, count, rows dot count.
Data table dot rows dot count equal to
rows dot count. So if the index value or if int counter value, if it is less than the counter, can we go back?
Yes.
So till 9 it will go, like the index can be 8, it will go. But after that, what should we do? Can we stop the process?
Yes.
So with the false state, we'll give program completed. We'll have last 15 minutes to complete our daily session for today, but within the next 15 minutes is what important things will happen, so please stay attentive. Okay, now what exactly will happen? Let's have a breakpoint over here and let's see. We're removing the breakpoint from here. Debug. So what is int counter here? Int counter, it's 0. Okay, and also dt transaction data dot rows count. Okay, let's observe when this will print the value. Step into. Now, if will this decision be true or false? In counter 1, is
True.
it less than the item?
Yeah, it's true.
True. So it will go back and print. Step into print. Again incremented. So what is the counter now?
2.
Okay. Next, what is the counter now?
2.
3. 2. 2.
Okay. So like this, I'll just have a break and I'll just have a breakpoint over here. I'll just continue. So what is the end counter? 9. So will 9 give me a row? Do we have 9 rows? So what is the last index that we can get from a table?
8.
8. So if it is equal, less than or equal to, if it is less than, then increment or log the message. If it is not less than, then just message stating that process got completed. Okay. So here we go. Program completed. Now, were you able to understand the activities completely in this?
Yes.
Okay. So here is important thing. Now, reading range and increment counter, how many times is it doing? Initializing the counter.
1 time.
Okay. So anything that is done only once, okay, is taken as first run. So let's create this now. Project activities, and let's add a sequence. Stop it. Activities, sequence, read range and increment counter. So I've read all the ranges and added the counter. So can we just remove these two?
Yes.
So can we do this? We can do it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So can I just rename this one as initialization init sequence? So with the initialization sequence, we are just making sure that things are in place, and after the initialization only we are looping in with all the values. Is it right?
Yes.
So what is the main activity here? What is the main activity?
Increment one by one and read the row data.
I think the major activity is just to log a message. So this is the activity that we need to perform, right? Whatever increment, though we do any increment or any kind of transformation. So the final activity is what?
The final activity is also log message.
Exactly. So
Completed.
yeah. So can we just write this one stating, so this is the process flow. Though there is only one activity, if we have multiple activities, this is process. Okay.
Yeah.
So this assign counter and checking for the next item, can we tell these two as incrementers, or are we getting the next item through these two activities?
Hmm.
We are validating it first and then we are getting the next activity. Is it right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So this is get transaction data. So get me the next item. Function F2. So this is get transaction data. Okay, we are getting next transaction data. If next transaction data exists, then go and process. If the next transaction data not exists, then what are we going to do?
Log message up.
Complete.
Close workflow.
Yes.
Okay. So just have a quick look. Auto arrange. Now, ReFramework is something that is a predefined, that is a code that is predefined or pre-written, so that we can just check on the logic. But if you observe any kind of project, initializations and first run should go over here. Okay, and getting after we have initialized, then we need to get one item. Okay, so after we got one item, we need to, what we need to do? We need to process it, and if all the process completed, then close the process. So only these steps are there in complete ReFramework, nothing more than that. But there are some exceptions. If there is some value, then how can we handle? All these are available. But can we just replicate the same things in ReFramework? But there is also one more catch over here. So this is only in one project, right? Like if the, okay, let's continue. Okay, if I want to replicate the same process in this one, then we need to understand 3 or 4 variables names. Let's see the variable names. Team nodes. So what are the important variables that we used?
Transaction item.
Important variables, okay. So transaction item.
Config.
Tell me what we used, not what's there in ReFramework.
Okay.
In this flow chart.
Counter.
DT transaction data.
Int counter.
Int counter is a general variable, not related to item. Okay. So these two are the 2 items that we used. So transaction data. So this is a collection of all our initialized data or bulk data. So if we are reading a table or Excel sheet, what will be the transaction item? Transaction data, what will be the transaction data?
File name.
Sorry.
First index file.
Complete data table.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay. Now, when it is a complete data table, what is the transaction item?
Row.
One row. A single entity will be a transaction item. Okay. Now, if it is a list of numbers, then what is transaction data? What is transaction item? What is transaction data if it is list of numbers?
List is transaction data.
Complete list is transaction data.
List will be the, yes.
So what is transaction item?
Numbers. Each row in those numbers will become the
one number.
Yeah,
one number. Yes.
Okay. So if it is array of characters, Then what is transaction data and transaction item?
Complete and each character.
Complete
Complete array.
Yeah, complete array. Each character.
What is transaction item?
Character, one character.
One character.
So this one character transaction item, will it be static or will it change?
It will change.
It will change as we loop in with all the items, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Good to know. So there are few other variables that we need to see. Config. So what is config over here?
That file, Excel file.
So for every project to work, for any project to work, we are adding, for example, in this sheet, if we just given or we have just given the file name directly mapped in this particular activity, right? But what if this is not the correct way? We need to have everything in a Excel, different Excel, where we are storing all our settings. So config is a place to store all our settings. Okay. The next one. What is the other activity that we have? Transaction item config, transaction number. So what is transaction number?
Incrementing each item.
You can tell index of the current transaction item.
Yes.
Okay. So let's take our example with this sheet. So this is the file name and we are incrementing. Let's give out two things: transaction number transaction item and what else? I think this is fine. So can we tell transaction number as int counter in our code?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Transaction number can be int counter in our code, because that's what we are using to loop in with all the values. So if it is transaction number, first it will be 0. As we move further, we will be incrementing it. Okay. So when the transaction number is 0, then what is transaction item?
1.
Okay. When the transaction number is 9, what is the item?
9.
Error.
Nothing.
Right. Error. It's error because we are starting with 0 and we are ending the index with 8.
Yes.
These are indexes while we are reading the code. If the transaction number is 5, then what is the transaction item?
4.
4.
So
6.
no, this for 5 it will be 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If the transaction number is 5, the value is 6. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so you just need to see. Let's understand that instead of giving these ASD, So now this will be easier for you to understand. Now, okay, so if you see, this transaction item is not dependent on the index. So whatever transaction item we have based on the index, we can change it. But transaction number will always be of what type? What is the data type of transaction number?
Integer.
It will always be integer, it will not change. In 32. Okay. So what is config?
Dictionary.
Dictionary. And what is transaction item and transaction data? Will transaction data always be?
Collection.
It's a collection.
Collection data table.
Will it always be a data table?
No, this will change
Object.
Will change as per the collection.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is the status of transaction item? By default, what is the type of it? Transaction item.
Transaction data.
It will be a default string.
UiPath.
Integer all.
So now, if his default type is queue item, okay. If we are using a data table or data rows, list of data rows, what is transaction item?
Data rows.
One row. Okay. Again, we have it here. The same answers. Transaction item is one character. Transaction item is one number. So depending upon the collection, we need to change our transaction item. Okay. So tomorrow what we can do is we will see how to convert, or whatever the code that we have, how to convert this Excel, or the code that we have written, how to convert this Excel into ReFramework code. Okay. And tomorrow we'll also see how to, if we are using this code, then in each and every machine we will be working on with the same list of items. Like every machine will start from A and end with E. But how can we divide our code, or how can we divide our transactions? For example, in my machine it should start with A. In other machine it will start with S. In other machine it will start with D. And when three members are executing, again the next three items will be picked up. The next three items will be picked up. How can we do a multi-bot architecture over here? We'll also see that. Tomorrow we'll be completing that activity. Is it fine for everyone?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
Yes.
is today's session easy or is it confusing?
Easy.
Easy.
It's easy, sir.
Easy.
So I have committed the code in main. You can just pull in the code. Okay. I will upload the recording in few minutes. Don't stop for my instructions. Please continue and complete the coding or project. Okay.
Vajrang, I have some doubts in the previous project, supplier management. Can I ask?
Once we complete with ReFramework, we will continue. But you can just see, supplier management is your project. If you are having queries, just talk to your team members and get it clarified. There will be someone in the team. Identify him, pick him or pick her.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, after completion of this ReFramework, I will be helping you, or we will be working with supplier management system, and we'll be converting that to ReFramework. We'll do that activity, but these are like the starting stage of something that you should definitely know before we go there. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. Have a great day ahead. Please send your feedback in WhatsApp group chat so that I can see. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, Kirti, tell me.
Thank you. No, by mistake I did. Sorry.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you.